Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son.
Kai.
And this is the week that's WWE. This is Out of the Blue, the Smackdown review. Yep, this is Smackdown, 4th of the 10th, 2019. First Friday night live on Fox. Just quickly, yep, me and Kai swap seats. We're just trying it and seeing if it looks better or it's easier for our setup. So I thought we'll try it this way around. Also, stick around till the end of the video because, quick disclaimer, we're not going to do a predictions video for Hell in a Cell this time. We're going to kind of do a mini one at the end of this review. Because to be fair, there's only 4 matches actually announced at the minute, which to be fair, we're recording this on Sunday, the day of Hell in a Cell. I think that's really, really poor. So, yeah, we'll just give our quick run through of the matches. So stick around to the end of the video for that. So yep, started off with Stephanie and Vince McMahon coming out just basically to say welcome to Friday Night Smackdown. And then they did a new intro sequence where a lot of the superstars were Raw, to be fair, in the title, which was quite interesting. We started the proper main show with Becky Lynch coming out and doing a bit of a promo about how SmackDown is where she started and where she started her run as the man. She said to the crowd, "Who wants me to kick somebody's ass," as it were. That brought out then King Corbin. King Corbin come out, which is a bit ironic, being as she said about kicking somebody, beating down somebody, and King Corbin comes out, which I think is very funny. He came out, did a bit of a promo about how he said he should have started the show and not Becky Lynch, and that basically he is SmackDown. I think that's basically what the gist of the promo really was, but he's really not. He's Raw, but okay. Anyway, that then brought out The Rock. Yes, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. I wrote down he did a typical Rock promo, which he did. He did all his catchphrases, involving the crowd, saying about how SmackDown basically was his show as well, because of his catchphrase. He's going to lay the Smackdown. That's where it all really started. He was then interrupted by Corbin mid sort of promo, and Corbin said it wasn't Rock's home anymore, and that he was better than the man and the Rock put together and all the fans. Then Becky Lynch and the Rock proceeded then to beat down Corbin. There was another people's elbow, and then there was the Rock bottom, and then that was kind of it. They kind of, if you smell what they're cooking, basically that was it. Had the first match. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair versus Sasha and Bayley. Like I say, not much to it. Simple tag team match. Charlotte got the win with the figure 8 and tapped out Bayley. That was kind of it. We've now been announced that it's now going to be Bayley versus Charlotte again at Hell in a Cell. That's an added match to the 3 that were already announced. And then we had Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke. But before we got the match, Seth got interrupted by the Fireflies Funhouse, and Bray Wyatt was basically saying because SmackDown has got a new home, he wants to introduce him to his home. And he went through all the puppets again: Abby the Witch, Huskus the Pig Boy, Mercy the Buzzer. Then they went to Ramblin' Rabbit. Yes, Ramblin' Rabbit is back. He did actually die last week. He got scared to death, but this time he is back. So he's done that a few times now where he's come back. So I think he'll be back again, especially after what happened in this one. He was dressed as
Seth Rollins.
Yep, Seth Rollins, saying about obviously playing off that Seth Rollins is his favourite superstar and his friend and all that. Bray Wyatt then said that he would show what would happen to Seth at Hell in a Cell. So they put Ramblin' Rabbit in a cage with Mercy the Buzzard, and Mercy the Buzzard proceeded to rip him to bits. And that was kind of it. Then we had the match, or we had part of a match with Seth versus Shinsuke with Sami Zayn at ringside, only for then the sort of to be the shutdown of SmackDown lights to go off and the Fiend attacked Seth Rollins. Now, my opinion is I think they're overusing the Fiend a little bit. I've said this a couple of episodes ago that I think I wish they would have done more mind games with the Fiend and Seth Rollins. Like, he turned the lights off, he wasn't there, Seth was getting a little bit scared, always looking behind his back, that sort of thing. I think they've just literally, the Fiend's been on every single show of Raw and SmackDown for the last month. I think they're oversaturating him, but that we'll have to see what happens after Hell in a Cell. We'll get to that at the end of this with our predictions about what we think is going to happen. Then we had what probably was one of the main events of SmackDown Live. Owens versus Shane McMahon, a ladder match, and the loser is fired. Obviously, they've had this bit of a rivalry lately where he tried to fine him $100,000 for attacking an official, and they had lawyers and everything like that. So basically, this was a spot fest. It was basically Owens and Shane getting all their moves in. It was Owens set up on the announce table. Shane went to the ring side post. He jumped, did the elbow through the announce table. That was a nice little spot there, but that's kind of the same stuff as what they always do. There was a ladder set up outside. One of them gimmick ladders where Shane's laying on it. Owens did a frog splash and broke the ladder. You know it's meant to break. You can see red tape all on the side of it. They need to watch things like that. I think they're a bit, yeah, they need to. They've just basically taped it and spray painted it silver to make it look like, you know, that ladder's not meant to break. We all know it's going to break. There was a coast to coast, which was a cool coast to coast. Owens was in the corner. Shane set up the ladder. Coast to coast, that was quite a nice thing. But the ending, there was a ladder set up across the bottom rope in the corner. Shane got basically power bombed onto that ladder, and Owens climbed up the ladder and got the briefcase.
He climbed it so quick.
Yeah, he did climb it quite quickly. Yes, that was one thing as well. Normally they sort of struggle and sort of strain to get up the ladder. He did it really quickly. Got the briefcase. Match over. Got a microphone. Said you're fired. Then proceeded to assault Shane McMahon with a stunner, and I think they're going to come back out of that. I think that's how Shane's going to come back. He's going to say, I was fired, you assaulted me, here's my lawyer team. I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do, but we'll have to see. Then we had an eight-man tag, 4-on-4. It was Strowman, Heavy Machinery and The Miz versus Ziggler, Robert Roode, Randy Orton and AJ Styles. Like I say, not much to this match, only the sort of ending type thing to the match. Strowman went for his little run around the ring where he runs round the outside of the ring, sort of charging shoulders into people. He then proceeded to see somebody in the crowd. It was Tyson Fury. Now, there were a few people, and we'll get to another one at the end, where they sort of appeared, and I thought, what happens if you don't know who they are? What happens if you're like Kai's age, who doesn't really know who these people are? Tyson Fury is a boxer, I know that. I'm not really high on boxing, but I do know who Tyson Fury is. He is a boxer. Strowman got his fists up like that. They sort of sideways fists, sort of a little bit of a taunting, but it was basically Ziggler who tried to sort of jump Strowman from behind. Strowman caught him, threw him against the barrier into Tyson Fury, and that kind of added a bit more fuel to it. Then Strowman basically power slammed Ziggler for the win. Tyson Fury then jumped over the barriers to try and get at Strowman for the security to sort of separate him. And obviously they're going to have a match along the line, probably at Crown Jewel.
Or WrestleMania next
or possibly WrestleMania. Yeah, they could build it up that long. But again, this is one of them gimmicky things. The Big Show has done this before with Floyd Mayweather. They've done this sort of thing before. They're doing it again. It's just a big name to hype up the ratings. Again, like I say, if you're Kai's age, they do say they're PG. You know, they're a PG era. Kai doesn't really know who Tyson Fury is, so other children are not going to know, or maybe some young adults wouldn't know. So that's more for the adults, I think. Anyway, we had Daniel Bryan on commentary for Roman Reigns versus Rowan in a lumberjack match. All the wrestlers surrounding the ring. This match, the end of this match basically was that Luke Harper came out to try and interfere. Daniel Bryan got off commentary to try and save. Roman Reigns did a quite nice spot where he jumped out of the ring to take out all the lumberjacks and Luke Harper and everyone. But it was basically a breakdown of the match where Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns were all in the ring, only for then Roman Reigns to get a spear win on Eric Rowan and win, and then they go obviously into Hell in a Cell with that tag team match. So yeah, that is kind of what it is. I think that they've sort of stalled with Reigns at the minute. Ever since he's come back from his leukemia, I think they haven't really done anything with him, to be honest. And to be honest, I'm not really invested in him, and I think a lot of people are like that in the minute. Anyway, then we get to the main event. Kofi Kingston versus Lesnar. We'll go through it as quick as what the match is. Lesnar won. There we go. That's as quick as what the match was. It was a very quick match. I did say that I'm bored of Kofi Kingston. I am bored of Kofi Kingston, but I'm not too fussed with Lesnar having the belt and probably not defending it. That is what it is. What I am a bit annoyed about is the quickness. I don't think they should have ended Kofi's reign that quickly. They should at least had a build down, or they should have had an interference and then had this match at Hell in a Cell, or they should have had at least something happen where it wasn't this quick. Anyway, Lesnar won in about 9 seconds or whatever it was. because Kofi went running at him, he jumped, caught him with F5, down. That's it, basically. And after the match, Rey Mysterio's music hits. Rey Mysterio came out with somebody else who, again, Kai wouldn't know, and another lot of children who watch WWE won't know. It was a UFC, ex-UFC. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if he's ex-UFC fighter. He hasn't fought for a little while, but yeah, UFC fighter Cain Velasquez. And Cain Velasquez is the guy who actually beat Brock Lesnar for the UFC Heavyweight Championship when he was actually actively competing in UFC. So obviously there's a bit of history, but yeah, that was it. Sort of, you know, Brock Lesnar does this usual thing, out of the ring, running away, come back, run away, and then walk away. That's basically it. That's how Smackdown went. Smackdown is not too bad. There's just not enough for me to keep me hooked on it, to be honest. You know, the Roman Reigns, Rowan thing, I was bored with it. You know, after Lesnar, you know, Lesnar was going to squash Kofi, I was bored with that. It's cool to see Cain Velasquez in WWE. We'll see what happens there. I've been told that there's going to be a match at Crown Jewel between them two, and it looks like Kofi Kingston's done as WWE champion or anything, or even having a title shot back. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, we'll see what happens next week. I do want to see next week because I want to see what happens with that, with Kane and Brock Lesnar. You know, we'll see what happens. Anyway, now we're going to predictions. Like I said, 4 matches for Hell in a Cell. It's very poor. They should have announced the matches. Now, obviously, there's not going to be no Cruiserweight Championship match unless it's the throwaway match, because there's a match between Gulak and Leo Rush next week on NXT, and by the looks of it, they've renamed that championship as the NXT Cruiserweight Championship now. So we'll see. Anyway, we'll go. First of all, it is going to be Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus Rowan and Luke Harper. Who do you think is going to win?
Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns.
Yep, I think that's going to be that way. I think it's going to be the blow off now to that storyline, that feud. So I'm going to go with Kai. I think Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan are going to win. Then we have Becky Lynch. Actually, yeah, we'll do that one. Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks in Hell in a Cell for the Raw Women's Championship. Who do you think is going to win?
Sasha Banks.
You think Sasha Banks is going to win? Well, I thought she was going to win last time, but she didn't. You know, it's a very hard one. She is back. She is a contender. I think she could have that belt. I'm going to say Becky Lynch. I'm going to go Becky Lynch this time. I think she's going to retain. And then we have the other SmackDown Women's Championship match, which is Bayley versus Charlotte. That's not in a cage or anything like that. I think it's a normal match. Who do you think is going to win?
Charlotte.
I think Charlotte's going to win. They have had a match before and it went the other way, which I was surprised. But I think eventually Charlotte's going to win that belt, and I think that's what's going to happen. And then we go to the last match, which is the only other one that's been announced, which is Seth Rollins versus The Fiend for the Universal title. Who do you think is going to win inside the cell?
The Fiend.
You think The Fiend's going to win? I'm leaning towards The Fiend as well. I think The Fiend might win that one as well. I think it's kind of shaping up to be that way. The trouble is, what do they do once that belt is changed onto The Fiend, Bray Wyatt? Bray Wyatt going to come out with the belt and act all nicey nice, or is he still going to do his fly for fun? We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video, which will be probably the reactions for Hell in a Cell. It's going to be a very busy schedule to fit all the videos in. Tuesday is probably going to be the Raw review and some reactions. We'll have to see what happens tonight at Hell in a Cell before we decide. So keep an eye on the channel, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates or any videos or anything like that. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, because the links will be in the description, and we'll update there, I think, what we're going to do. But anyway, I'll say goodbye and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.